Jayson Jorgensen with you. It is time for another season of HuskerChat, brought to you by Acres Equipment. And we once again are joined by Sean Callahan as the Huskers get set to kick off the season in Ireland. Sean, I know you're headed across the Atlantic to Ireland. I know you've been waiting on this trip. Does it seem like it's finally going to happen?
Yeah, I'm pretty much overpacked. I think I've got way too much in my car outside, but heading to the airport, yeah, it's crazy to think we were here in 2019 just getting this game off the ground. The 2021 version never happened last year. It took place in Champaign, Illinois, and now we'll finally get Nebraska, Northwestern, and Dublin. They're expecting 10 to 12,000 Nebraska fans in attendance based on the internal data they have right now. And, it's probably not as high as they wanted it to be when this thing was announced in 2019, but it will be the largest tourism event to hit the country of Ireland since the COVID 2020 pandemic began.
Let's talk about this offseason and this fall camp for the Huskers. Since we last talked, Scott Frost made a lot of changes. There's a lot of new faces there. What's kind of your read on how this has come together so far in fall camp?
Well, I really like the defense. I think they've, added some good pieces there. Tommy Hill is a really good corner. Luke Reimer and Nick Henrich appear to be healthy, which I think a year ago that wasn't always the case at linebacker. But then Garrett Nelson and Caleb Tanner have raised their game another level. Then you add in O'Shawn Mathis. I think this is going to be potentially a better group than it was a year ago. I really think what they're going to get off the edge, they're going to get to quarterbacks, to me, a lot better than they had done before. But then on the offense, you have 5 new coaches. That's obviously the story. Mark Whipple is going to call plays next to Scott Frost from the sidelines. That's how he did it at Pittsburgh. He wasn't in the box. So you'll really get kind of a live look in of how Frost and how Whipple really work on a game day, because they're going to be standing right next to each other on a Saturday. And this is Mark Whipple's show. What we do know is Casey Thompson's going to be the guy. That's not a surprise. His experience, number one, gives him an edge. He had the surgery on the thumb. That helped his fall camp. I think he took a step forward. There's no doubt. I like Anthony Grant probably to be the starting running back, but Gabe Ervin Jr. and Ramir Johnson will have roles. Trey Palmer has come in and been an outstanding receiver. I think he has a chance to be a 1,000-yard receiver in this offense under Mark Whipple. Probably the fastest guy on this team. The big question remains the offensive line. Donovan Raiola has his work cut out for him. Can he get this group to where it needs to be in his first year at Nebraska? Will Teddy Prohaska and guys like Bryce Benhart, will they be able to lock down those tackle spots?
What do you think this offense looks like? Is this going to resemble what we saw Whipple running last year in Pittsburgh, or will there be some elements added to what Scott Frost has tried to do in Nebraska in the past?
I do think it's going to be a blend of what's worked here before, because a lot of what Frost did work. I mean, he put up some pretty spectacular numbers, but I just think it needed buttoned up, as we know, with details and mistakes. I mean, you think about a year ago, Nebraska put up more yards than anybody on Wisconsin's defense. They put up more yards ever than on anyone than Pat Fitzgerald's defense at Northwestern. So they have put up big yards and numbers, but the details and the little things have killed them, whether it's in the red zone or turnovers or penalties. So that's where hopefully Mark Whipple can really button things up. He knows what he's doing. He has a great system at Pitt, and Nebraska had a pretty good system, obviously, with Frost. And I think if you can get these two things together, I don't think we're going to see the quarterback run anymore. At least Casey Thompson. You might see Chubba Purdy or Logan Smothers run it, but I don't envision like Casey Thompson being a runner, and that will be a difference from what it was before.
Today on Husker Chat, we're joined by Sean Callahan. It's brought to you by Acres Equipment. Now, to me, you have all of these new faces, all of these new coaches, and then you factor in you're also going overseas to Ireland. How smooth of a product are you kind of looking for in this one against Northwestern? I would assume there'll probably be at least still a few mistakes and hiccups here or there.
Yeah, the team is going to fly out Monday night this week. It's a 9:00 at night flight from Omaha direct. So they'll touch down around mid-morning Tuesday, and they're just going to keep those players awake the rest of the day. They're hoping that they're going to sleep on that flight over. So that remains to be seen how that all goes. Then they want to get them good rest on Tuesday night. So I don't imagine Tuesday will be a late night. Then they'll get them up, but not real early on Wednesday for practice. And then Thursday afternoon practice as well, and a Friday afternoon practice. So I think they're being really conscious to get guys rest, to not get them up super early in the morning. And that will be the key, how they transition. But they will practice 3 days out here before the game on Saturday. It's a beautiful stadium, beautiful facility. Nebraska's done their best to practice on grass. Unfortunately, there's not much grass like what they're going to see around Nebraska right now in terms of practice fields. Everyone's turf or grass fields are pretty beat up with the drought we've had here across the state of Nebraska.
I know it's just game one of a long season, but to me, this is a huge game. When you come off of what happened last year, you have all of the changes. How big do you see this one? Certainly a good performance here could set a much better tone than what we saw in last year's loss to Illinois.
Yeah, I mean, nobody truly knows what Nebraska is going to look like. I think they have an idea what the pieces could look like, but that's what, makes this game intriguing in a lot of ways, because this thing could just skyrocket and take off in Ireland, or it could be same old, same old. And I think it depends on kind of what side of the fence you're on. If you're a glass half full or glass half empty guy about the current state of the program, that's your feeling going into this game. But I like the matchup for Nebraska. I like the element of surprise they have with the new offense, the new quarterback, the new running back, the new receivers. And I like the fact that they at least have a pretty good read on Northwestern. This will be Scott Frost's 5th game against the Wildcats since the Huskers joined the Big Ten.
What kind of a team do you expect to see out of Northwestern? They've been up, down, although in listening to Pat Fitzgerald at Big Ten Media Days, he sounded like kind of a confident guy. I know he's not going to come out and say they have some issues, but I know they weren't very good a year ago, but my guess is they also have to be improved.
Yeah, I think what jumps out to me, though, is their quarterback position is probably one of the worst in the Big Ten right now. They don't really know who it's going to be. It's a battle. And I think they're just looking for the best game manager. I don't think they know they don't have an elite quarterback. What they're going to do well, though, Jason, is run the ball. Cam Porter and Evan Hull are both backs that could go for close to 1,000, if not more. Hull went for 1,000 the year before. Cam Porter was their best player until he got hurt in fall camp last year. They're going to run it. Porter's 235 pounds. They have 4 starters returning on the offensive line, led by Pete Skorsky, who is one of the best tackles in college football. First team All-American preseason that was announced on Monday by the Associated Press. So that is their strength. They want to chunk this thing out. They want to get a lot of 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2s and run them. And I think limit the possessions in this game.
All right, we'll see how it shapes up in Ireland. You have a safe trip. It's great to have football back, and I'm sure you're, even from a personal standpoint, you're looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I'm excited for a lot of reasons. Be out in Ireland 5 nights, 6 nights, and one of those nights will be in a plane. But I'm really looking forward to just seeing the Nebraska fans in a overseas in an environment like this. Just to see the looks on people's faces with Nebraska fans everywhere in Dublin. It's going to be something fun for the entire week.
All right, that was Sean Callahan. He once again will be joining us all season long with Husker Chat, and it's brought to you by Acres Equipment. I'm Jayson Jorgensen.